Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 11 of season 2 of the F124 driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Austrian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video yesterday that went live from Barcelona, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But we've officially caught Formula 1 up again inside this series. I really do hope you guys are enjoying the pretty much daily content. I think we've missed one day so far since the game released, and of course, yeah, I'll be doing the same this weekend during the Grand Prix Sunday as well there. But of course, yeah, the midway point of this Formula 1 triple header obviously means that there are plenty of things going on behind the scenes as well. We had an interesting time out last time in Spain. We felt like, obviously, we know that track is pretty much just dictated by, you know, tyre management, tyre wear. So I'm happy with the result we got. Unfortunately, we didn't score any points, which means the gap for us, though, has opened up to the likes of Alonso and George Russell in front. Verstappen now with a 39-point lead over his teammate Sergio Perez at the top of the table. The Dutchman hasn't got as big a lead as he did last year, but of course, this was kind of where we saw his championship campaign start to crumble. Will we see the same this time out, though? Only time will tell. But yeah, sprint weekend provides us with twice the opportunities to score some points, so I'll see you guys in qualifying.
Hello everyone, welcome to Austria. It is a short track, it is high speed, it is exactly what we enjoy for qualifying.
Well, as I've said before then, I'm happy to call out EA and Codys when they make mistakes, but I'm also happy to give them credit when they've done something correctly. And, well, today, they have now finally obviously fixed the sprint qualifying tyre rules. So we only get one set of mediums for Q1, then obviously we get the same for Q2, and then obviously one set of softs if we see ourselves into Q3. The AI, though, definitely don't use their battery in qualifying. We found that out last time out in Barcelona, so we're going to stop using the hot lap mode once again. Yeah, this makes qualifying very interesting then, as that helicopter seemed awfully low to the ground at the top of the hill. But yeah, it basically now has become one shot here in Q1 and Q2. So we really want to try and deliver. This has been a good track for Haas in years gone by. Their still best ever result IRL was, I believe, here in 2018, where they came P4, courtesy of Romain Grosjean. And that is not what I need to do on our qualifying run. A couple of little mistakes on that first lap, so we're going to try and go for a second run quickly. Only down in P12 as Verstappen, P14 World Championship leader, could be under some pressure to deliver. I guess the good thing, of course, here in Austria is obviously where the lap is so short, where it isn't too aggressive on the tyres. 2 laps here is theoretically possible, although we definitely are struggling for grip. We're bringing the car marginally back up into the green then. We're pretty much even as we make our way down to the final couple of corners, but we know any difference could be the difference maker here in Spielberg. At the final corner, we're going to just throw away the time in the end. We set 2 laps within 13 thousandths of a second of each other, but are we going to see others improve? Well, the answer to that question, luckily for us, is no. Lando Norris fastest ahead of Alonso and Sergio Perez. Yeah, Max Verstappen clearly just could not quite get the lap hooked up. Hulkenberg agonisingly close to making it into sprint Q2. We have survived, but I'm not optimistic we're going to see Q3. How many times have I said that, though, on this game? Well, I've gone out then onto the circuit in Q2 with a couple of minutes left on the clock, so we can try and get 2 runs in if we need to. Yeah, some of you kind of might see my skepticism of Q3 appearances as lack of self-belief. I call it tempering expectation here as we tip the car back down towards Zone 1. We might just be able to get a slipstream off of Oscar Piastri. Why was he stopped? Why would you stop on the middle of the road, sir? So we got another one in the way. That's George Russell. Hamilton's out of the session, so it's all kind of kicking off here. Everyone else has done their laps, but I guess now with that yellow flag out behind us, this is only going to be a 1 run there. Oh, there we go. Hamilton's gone. So not too much to worry about. I think we're aiming for like a low 5, a high 4, if possible. Verstappen as well seems to have got his act together now in Q2, so I think he just messed up his Q1 run. I certainly don't think we're going to see the Dutchman lack pace here at Spielberg of all places. Again, we just nip a wheel in the gravel coming towards the end of the lap, so maybe really struggling and to keep the tyres where I need them throughout the entirety of this circuit as we tip the car through the final corner, right up to the white line on the exit once again. A 5-2, only good enough for P14, so we lose nothing by trying to go for a second run here. Oh, big moment of oversteer through the first corner. Will we gain any time, though, by aiming to avoid Oscar Piastri? Yes, we will. Still half-tenth down, though, by the time we get to the top of the hill. But unfortunately, we also seem to be giving Daniel Ricciardo quite the slipstream in that V-carb as well, so even if we promote ourselves up the order, it might be that we help Ricciardo do exactly the same thing there. 14th and 15th at the moment. The Australian is sticking to me like glue here as we try and navigate our way through. We are again going to find about another 10th of a second, but we need 2 tenths if we want any hope of seeing sprint qualifying 3 here. Absolutely chuck the car through the final couple of corners. It is going to be so close as we get towards the line. P15 still, despite the fact we did a 105 flat. And there we go then, Red Bull with a front row lockout at the end of the second session there, but Ricciardo improving, Sainz improving, Ocon improving, everybody improved towards the end of the session there. Admittedly, the time we set was never going to be good enough, but weirdly, yeah, obviously only 9 cars heading out into Q3, and sadly, I'm not one of them.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Seven rights and just 3 left-handers make up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is flat out, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Ocon, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Sainz, Stroll, Albon, Mr. Monaco, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Gasly, Joe and Logan Sargent. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me, a real authority on all things motor racing. It's a warm welcome back to Anthony Davidson. So, a sprint race today, and that means lights to flag, no stops. And how is that going to affect the driver behind the wheel?
Absolutely. So for today, there's no pit stop, or shouldn't be a pit stop anyway, if things go right, and you can forget about strategy. You're just driving today as fast as you can, make those overtakes if you need to, and that's what a sprint weekend's all about.
We came close to scoring points last race. Let's make it happen today, eh?
Well, I certainly hope we can try and score some points today. I believe this might be the first time ever that Hülkenberg and I have actually qualified next to each other on the grid inside this series. I certainly don't see much of my Haas teammate, but maybe we'll just wave across to him at the launch here. But as we wait then on the 5 red lights here for the Austrian GP sprint, we know how critical lap 1 is, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go there as Albon doesn't get off to a particularly good start. Neither does Carlos Sainz there. That gives Stroll enough room to manoeuvre himself down towards turn 1 as well. I think they were 3 wide on the inside there. Sainz kind of broke early and then decided he wanted to be a little bit more aggressive there as Ferrari lead the way up the hill, courtesy of, I believe that must be Charles Leclerc. Oh, I mean, look at this. Everyone just parks at the top of the hill. Gasly doesn't. He's made like 5 cars up. How on earth has Pierre Gasly done that? I think he qualified P17 here, but he's straight up into P11 then, as everybody else has been a little bit mugged off there. Stroll and Ricciardo side by side as we make our way down the hill. But yeah, not the ideal start for us. We have gained 1 place, but certainly was hoping for a little bit more here. Starting to feel that these rule changes really haven't played into Haas' hands. As Max Verstappen then leads at the end of lap 1. Stroll.
Use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Stroll there, I thought, might try and line up a move on Daniel Ricciardo out up towards turn 1, but we're all just tucked up in the slipstream of each other at the moment. Ricciardo having to go defensive from the Canadian. The Canadian will back out and then doesn't back out. I've got no idea who I want to sit behind here. And ultimately I made the wrong choice as Lance Stroll goes clean around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo up at the top of the hill. The AI now, where they do use their battery more strategically, have certainly become more competitive around this Spielberg circuit. Last year, it was really, really easy just to keep up with them around this venue. Obviously, we watched Verstappen and Hamilton have that almighty battle as Stroll plays a power move to the inside of Ricciardo. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case today. Stroll, though, appears to have lost the DRS to the train in front, so Ricciardo's going to try and have a look back down the inside at turn 1. They're both going to really pinch each other. Stroll will hang on around the outside, but yeah, they might not be able to strategically battle as well as they used to with the battery. Doesn't mean they're not going to battle badly in towards the first corner there, as clear around the outside of the Canadian, who will send it back up my inside at the top of the hill. We want to try and get back up to Pierre Gasly up the road, but I'm sure Stroll again is probably going to try and attack me here as we make our way down to turn 4. We just about got the legs. We've got yellows, that's Pierre Gasly, who appears to be slowing down in the Alpine. They've done alright in the last couple of races with reliability. Not sure where he's trying to go there. But Gasly, oh, we got a red flag.
No overtaking, please. We'll see you in the pit lane.
I think he might have parked on the racing line there, and people have gone into the back of him. Not ideal from Pierre, but it helps us out, because now obviously we've got to restart. We can actually use the softs.
We can get a nice advantage here. Let's have a think about how we handle the rest of this race.
Well, yeah, this sprint race has effectively been cut in half. We've got 8 laps really to go, actually, if you include lap 5, but a huge chance now.
Stand by.
Waiting on those 5 red lights once again, then. It's going to be lights out, and away we go. Why on earth is Ocon on the hards? He's still got a pretty good start there as Russell trying to weave his way around down towards turn 1. Verstappen again will hang on, but look at the grit we found around the outside of absolutely everybody there through that first corner. Tsunoda tried to give me a bit of a squeeze. Why have some of the AI opted for hard compound tyres here? I don't quite understand that one, as Leclerc and Verstappen again battling at the top of the hill. Piastri caught, I think, as well on those hard compound tyres, and we are just picking people off. Everyone that opted to start on, well, I assume they all started on the softs there as Russell. Oh, trying to have a look down the inside. We really have to kind of force Oscar Piastri out. 6 places we've gained off of that restart there by virtue of our aggressive tyre strategy. And now the goal is just try and keep up with Perez. Well, we absolutely don't have the pace to belong with this group at the moment, but I'm going to try and hang on here throughout the final 6 laps of this sprint. Pretty much as soon as I said that we didn't really have a chance here, it's incredible just how much a red flag can change the makeup of a Grand Prix. Russell is still trying to apply pressure behind. Piastri's actually done a pretty good job at staying close as well. But of course, yeah, over the likes of Russell and Tsunoda, we need to start beating them, as they are our rivals. Oh, damn it. We've lost the DRS. No. Oh, this is going to leave us so vulnerable to Russell, and I think we can wave goodbye to the top 4. Looks like Verstappen, though, is just... Whoa, hello. Russell, a really late dive bomb. But I was about to say, yeah, I think Verstappen is really using a lot of battery at the moment to keep Charles Leclerc at bay. Is it just all going to be a little bit too little too late, though? With all 3 of the DRS zones around this venue, surely Charles is just charging up the pack and waiting to pounce. Yeah, the soft tyres don't really last that well around this circuit. Quite surprising, actually, considering how good they've been in previous games. As here goes George Russell down the inside. We'll be a bit strategic, because we'll make sure we claim the DRS and get the power down around his outside there at the top of the hill. So we'll live to fight this lap. Oh, we have got an almighty train of cars behind us. Piastri, Russell, and Yuki Tsunoda. But they've now seem to be squabbling with each other. Piastri, maybe those hard tyres coming back in a little bit right towards the end of this one, but he's lost the DRS to myself. This is really good, actually, at the perfect time. Russell, I don't know if he's got mechanical gremlins, but he definitely seems to be struggling towards the end. Oh no, Oscar Piastri not here, please, sir. Not into the final couple of corners. We just about hook it up around the outside. But yeah, Russell definitely seems to be struggling right towards the end of this one. There's a horrible run out of the final corner.
The final lap of the race, final lap.
Piastri says thank you very much, but hopefully we're going to be able to try and get a run on the Australian as we make our way back up the hill, open up the battery open up the DRS as well there, as they're still fighting it out at the front of the field. To the outside of Oscar Piastri we go. It's hard tyres versus the softs. Do we claim the DRS? Yes, we do. And we'll also get really nice traction out over the top of the hill. Charles Leclerc, though, has made the move. He is up into the lead of this Grand Prix. And, of course, the Monegasque driver still yet to win a race this season. We saw Hamilton last year take his only win here in the Styrian Sprint. Are we going to see Charles Leclerc do exactly the same this season round as we make our way through the final couple of corners, though? We've got to be careful of Oscar.
5.0 seconds.
We just don't seem to have the rotation off of that corner against the AI at the moment, so we're going to have to sit in the middle of the road. Oscar Piastri, though, having a look to the inside, will swing back over there. Oh, a little bit too much understeer through the final corner. It is going to be Leclerc that wins the sprint here in Austria, and Tsunoda will make the move on Oscar. Well, there we go. Charles Leclerc, sprint race winner, as for some reason we're sat in the back of the garage. Verstappen, half a tenth behind come the checkered flag, but it's clear to see Ferrari finally have a car that can fight for victories this year. And of course, if a contract comes over to us, I would be very, very tempted to accept it as well there. Max Verstappen P2 ahead of Perez, Norris and myself. Tsunoda, Piastri and Russell rounding out our top 8 there. But yeah, I'll be honest, 4 points I'm very happy with. 4 of the luckiest points I might ever score, though, in this series. We certainly did not have the pace today there, as Verstappen now his lead at the top up to 40 points ahead of Checo Perez. Leclerc, though, if he gets some good results under his belt, if Ferrari can start upgrading the car a bit quicker, could he still be a threat? Only time will tell, but yeah, let's get into real qualifying.
Hello everyone, welcome to Austria. It is a short track, it is high speed, it is exactly what we enjoy for qualifying.
Well, back to normal qualifying rules then, ready for the real one, and luckily, because we didn't actually make it into Q3 in the sprint, we actually get a 4th set of tyres as well this weekend. But yeah, once again though, I think the AI kind of struggled with kind of the adaptive tyre rules, so maybe we're going to see them come on a little bit stronger here. We need Hulkenberg to have a good qualifying session as well, but yeah, I hope obviously at the very least we see Q2. Maybe we can get back into Q3, but yeah, the AI on soft compound tyres with multiple runs, they are going to be stronger. The first lap has felt okay then, a couple of small errors here and there that we can definitely find a bit of time on, but at the final corner we go. Are we going to be competitive against our teammate Hulkenberg? 0.03 of a second behind him, only in P18. I'm really starting to get worried that because we can't do those last upgrades on this Haas, we are really starting to struggle. I don't think track temperature has risen dramatically or anything like that here come the end of Q1, but yeah, we seem to have really, really lacking pace at the moment still. Just confidence over one lap in this car seems to be a bit all over the show now. But we're going to try and get ourselves into Q2. Bit of a tidier line through the first corner there immediately is going to find us a 10th, and that's huge early on this lap. We need about 2/10 if we want to make it through. I would love to be, though, down into the 104s there as well. Again, just struggling to get the car where I need it at the top of the hill. I thought as well we were down into 2nd gear there, but clearly that wasn't the case. Come on, come on, come on. I don't want to just go out in Q1 for the 2nd time in 3 Grand Prix. We just cannot find the pace, though. Why aren't I getting these laps hooked up? Bit of a tidier line as we make our way out, though, of the middle sector. Hulkenberg is on a 1.52 now as we try and tip the car in through the final couple of corners. Hanging between the white lines there, 0.3 up. Oscar Piastri top of the board. We go P17. Again, the AI able to improve at the end of qualifying. And we are out in Q1. Well, there we go then. Piastri ahead of Alonso and Lando Norris as track conditions continue to improve there. We find ourselves out. And I said, obviously in the sprint, I believe that's the first time we've qualified alongside Hulkenberg. We've gone and done it again. Ready for the real GP. I'll be honest though, another 0.3 of a second was going to be difficult to find. I feel like had we nailed it, we could have been there. But VCarb, Alpine, and now even Williams, with Alex Albon at the wheel, seem to have a better car than us. We are slower than Zhou Guanyu and a Sauber, and they've got the same power unit.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of this famous race. It's time for the Austrian Grand Prix. 700 metres above sea level, 10 corners and one of the shortest laps of the season. 2.6 miles with some good overtaking opportunities, but you've got to get the braking right into turn 1 and turn 3. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Ocon, Albon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Joe, Mr. Monaco, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Sargent, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. And now it's time to head down to the track. Well, we welcome you to the broadcast. It's going to be some race today. First of all, introductions. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this one, Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
We just missed out on points last race, so let's see if we can bring some home today.
Well, we managed to pick up points in the sprint race earlier on, so I'm hoping we can do the same in the main event today. But yeah, once again, we have really got our work cut out. So I'm actually going to try and gamble the strategy a little bit here and try and start on the hards and then take the mediums to the end of the afternoon. It's a big call, but I certainly feel, we're lacking that out-and-out pace in the car. Maybe if we get a well-timed red flag or safety car or something, then hopefully we can try and springboard our way back up the order once again then. But yeah, P16 on the grid, one of my worst qualifying efforts of the year. It is going to be 5 red lights though here on the grid. It's going to be lights out and away we go. Of course, as you would expect, not getting off to a particularly good start as we make our way down in towards turn 1. Hülkenberg there just watching, seeing what our teammate can do, as Pierre Gasly as well just tucks in behind me there through the first corner. He'll be hoping just to see the end of the GP here today, as Max Verstappen has already got about a second lead by the time we make it up the hill in towards turn 3 then. No idea how the Red Bull man has done that, as we'll try to look around the outside of Logan Sargent up the top of the hill. Not quite enough grip out there, as where's Gasly disappeared to? He must have been hidden right behind the rear wing there, because I couldn't spot him off of the corner down the inside. Nope. Think better of that one. We've got to be a bit more kind of racing with some self-preservation, I feel like, in this series. There's been quite a few, aggressive manoeuvres in recent Grand Prix, but of course we know how the AI are going to spread out, though, as Sargent makes a power move to the inside of Magnussen down through the middle sector. Can't help but feel, yeah, this is going to be one of those races where Sauber, Williams, V-Carb, ourselves, and maybe Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll kind of get caught up with each other, and maybe struggle to keep up with the, kind of the more dominant cars. Well, it is a very, very odd feeling. We don't often try the alternate strategy inside F124, and really, for probably about the first 10 laps or so, we're not going to be able to make much of an impact. Kind of just got to sit in, look after our tyres, kind of see how the race is shaping up around us. I mean, Verstappen, unless something goes catastrophically wrong, appears to have already won this race, but behind him, everybody else still staying pretty bunched up. I know the trains have been fixed inside F124, but Austria, it's kind of just a normal byproduct of racing here. Can we get a run on Magnussen as we make our way up the hill? Just see Sargent struggling to keep in line with some of those cars a little bit further up the road, as Kevin's going to go defensive. Of course, the man who we replaced down at Haas at the start of last season. Clean around the outside will go. And yep, there we go, Logan Sargent just dropping out of the DRS range of the cars in front of him. So we've got to try and get a run on the Williams up the hill. Oh, really chucked it in quite late into the braking zone. But that worked out nicely. Meant, obviously, we get the DRS off of our teammate Hülkenberg in front. Obviously, it is, there's a lot of strategy still. But yeah, you can definitely see Williams Sauber, Haas, all struggling to really match anybody else. Stroll now to the inside of Zhou Guanyu at the top of the hill, so clearly the Aston Martin getting a little bit bored.
Okay, mate, and that's Nico ahead. Right, let's go. Let's try and get past them and put them on the back foot. Push, push.
Stroll trying to have a look around the outside of Zhou Guanyu as we make our way down the hill. Is he going to be able to hook the car up the long way around? Or is he just going to have to tuck back in there? I think the Aston Martin maybe has kind of appreciated that he needs to get on with it. Zhou Guanyu still going the long way around there, and Zhou Guanyu hangs on to it. What a beautiful move by the Sauber driver. It definitely feels like Sauber is starting to get a little bit stronger once again inside this series, which is obviously fantastic news for them. So our Stroll and Hulkenberg there, both with a bit of a compromised line behind him through the final corner. We've got to start making an impact though. You can see the field is slowly spreading out. So, I mean, yeah, everyone just kind of sat in waiting for each other at the moment. There's got to be a sense of urgency to the way these guys drive at some point. Surely Stroll's going to get a run on Zhou Guanyu back up the hill to the outside wheel go of our teammate. We'll just about keep the DRS, not that it would have mattered.
Hit that target nicely. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's keep it clean.
That time round, Zhou Guanyu actually gets the DRS off of Lance Stroll. We're going to try and slipstream the Aston Martin, though, to the inside. Oh, a little bit of rear lock in there, but we slow it down on the inside of the corner. I think Stroll's actually picked up a little bit of front wing damage. I don't know whether that was from the contact we just had or whether that was earlier on in this race, but as we try and go the long way around, Stroll will hang on. Front wing damage or not, that Aston Martin has got some grip. Right, come on then. Surely Stroll, yeah, he hasn't got the pace. He hasn't got the pace at the moment. We'll try and get all the way around the outside. A little bit wide there over the turn 1 entrance curb, but through we'll go. Unfortunately, we don't get the DRS though. But now we've got, yeah, a 4-second gap up to Ricciardo up the road. We're not far away from points now. Well, I'm just monitoring the gap then to the cars in front. Ricciardo now down to 3.5 seconds, so we're actually doing a really good job kind of dragging Stroll, Hulkenberg, and this whole group back to that train in front. Problem is in front of them, yeah, I think that other group of, you know, kind of the top cars is pretty much going to be unattainable today. I'm looking at the tyre wear though. These tyres could probably pretty much go the entire race. Is it worth, you know, really just throwing caution to the wind and trying to basically go to the end of the Grand Prix and pray that we get a safety car towards the end of the race or something? Well, one of the weird ways now, of course, the DRS kind of works, and especially around a track like Austria, is obviously we're basically spending all of our time watching that gap to Ricciardo at the top left-hand side of your screen. It either goes up, obviously when he's in the slipstream of everybody else, or goes down when they're kind of fighting each other. And weirdly, it's kind of doing both of them so evenly that the gap's basically staying level. I guess the good thing for us still is that Stroll, with that front wing damage, can't quite get a run past me. So we're not really getting tripped over in that regard, as we got yellows out. I think that might be the Williams in front. Alex Albon out of the final corner. That looks to be a mechanical failure for the Williams. I couldn't see any smoke, so I don't know whether it's just shut off. Apparently, he's got no information on that. Oh, there you go. Of course. Why did he stutter with that? But yeah, up into P13 we go then. But yeah, heartbreak for Williams and Alex Albon. You know, potentially like he was going to be in the fight for a point. Well, I would say 33% tyre wear as we approach half distance. Is actually pretty good tyre wear at the moment, Mark, but okay. We'll try and keep that tyre wear down. Yeah, we're starting to obviously get the advantage now of the mediums, you know, falling off pace in comparison to the hards. So the gap to Ricciardo is coming down. But of course, let's not forget, their undercut will be ridiculously OP. So, I mean, we basically either got to try and box early with them and pray that the mediums hang on, or we box late and hope that we get a big advantage. There we go, starting to see AI into the pit lane then, pretty much where we would expect them to, as Hulkenberg diving in behind. For the first time then in this race, we are going to be up into the points as Max Verstappen has already got a pit stop margin over me. The Dutchman, he dominated this race last season. I think he's going to do the same today. There we go, Danny Rick into the pits as well, and just see him arc over to the right-hand side to make our way through the final couple of corners. But come on, let's just try and keep this thing clean and tidy for the next few laps.
Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs. And gap to the car in front, 6.5 18.9 seconds.
Well, Russell is going for a very, very aggressive strategy as well. But 40% wear as we get to half distance. I reckon if we can get these to about the end of 26, we could go softs to the end. But yeah, I'm basically now praying that we get a red flag or a safety car at any point. There we go, Russell then, our other big title rival. Into the pit lane he goes. We are not going to complete the tyre wear program, but yeah, running P2 then. Not bad from 17th on the grid. Shame we've still got a pit.
18.8 seconds.
I think, yeah, we would come out behind Hulkenberg once he's pit, but he's closing in on those V-carbs, which appear to be fighting for the final point. Oh, we've got yellows, that is perfect. Come on, give me that red flag, We don't often try strategies like this on this game, but I would take it today. It is one of the V-carbs breaking down. I think that might be Sainz, who's out of the GP, or at least running very slowly. Come on, Carlos Sainz out of it. No safety car, nothing for that at the moment. Well, I don't know why, but I'm starting to get nervous that we might have an engine failure towards the end of this race. Just sometimes you get that sneaking suspicion that the F1 game is plotting something against you. Perez will move his way past us though, but yeah, Hamilton, Leclerc and a few others have really been squabbling behind. So if we can just hang with Checo for a few laps in the DRS, I think, yeah, once we lose sight of him, that's probably when we're going to pit. Yeah, I promise the team, Perez is not holding me up right now. We are barely trying to hang on to him, and that Red Bull is so fast in a straight line at the moment. Yeah, we obviously saw last season here the AI would lock up at the top of the hill. Actually, it might have been in the My Team series, where they would lock up heading down into turn 4, and they basically park on the exit of the corner. That's kind of what I'm hoping they do, but they just don't want to at the moment, and it's really annoying me. I know it's a bit cheesy trying to get some points this way, but sometimes you've got to take risk inside this game. And yeah, we are going to box, though, end of 26. You know what, actually we're going to box now. I'm just looking at some of those gaps further back and where Hulkenberg's fighting. Even if it means we can't score a point, I'd love to be able to try and help our teammate out. 50 mph exactly as we make our way down into the pit lane then, but I'm hoping we're going to come out around still with that V-carb car. As onto a set of mediums for the final 10 laps. No. 5.5 second pit stop. That is disgusting. Why, whenever I'm in a desperate need?
Wheel. We need to try and put that behind us though and finish this race strong.
Why, whenever we are in a desperate need for a good pit stop inside this game, does it not happen? What is Zhou doing? What was that? Zhou Guanyu tried to get in front of me and then basically just parked on my nose as we'll get the DRS at the top of the hill. Surely we've got the grip to have a look around the outside of the Sauber and the Alpine. Just trying to utilise that slipstream as best as we can. Pierre, you can go defensive, I don't care. As late on the brakes around the outside. Gasly almost locks up into me, but we'll go clean past him. 5 seconds to Ricciardo up the road. We need to be going probably close to a second a lap faster than the cars in front of me if we want to take points. Well, clearly then, team worried that obviously we're closing in on this group very quickly, but we need to try and get through them as soon as we can. Hulkenberg, this might be the best shot of points I've ever seen him have inside this game. The Haas car had no pace in qualifying, but really has come alive in the race and helped by the McLaren, the Aston Martin, the Alpine, all kind of squabbling with each other. Let's just try and make sure that we get to that ERS charge target that the team are hoping for. Is up over 60%. We're still closing in, though, on these cars in front. So we'll open up the battery as well. We'll try and short shift over to 7th gear. Into 8th gear, even, I should say. I mean, look at that going on down at turn 1. Ocon and Norris really trip over each other. And now we've got to try and help our teammate out. So here goes Lance Stroll, potentially making it 3 wide as they make their way up the hill. Hulkenberg, he's a little bit of contact with our teammate. Oh, we go 3 wide up through turn 2 there. Ricciardo will get around the outside of us, and Hulkenberg. I don't really know what to do to help him at the moment, apart from maybe focus on our own race and make sure that we still score some points. We'll go clean around the outside of Ricciardo there, maybe pinch him a little bit to the apex, but Norris is definitely struggling. Lance Stroll now, to the front of this group, as you can see how much grip we've got through there over Esteban Ocon. The Alpine driver, I mean, yeah, neither Alpine's got much left. as this was the joy, obviously, when all of these teams were battling with each other earlier on. We were obviously not losing it much at all there. It's down the inside of Ocon, who kind of peels out of the way. We have got so much grip. I mean, I think, yeah, as much as I want to help Hulkenberg score his first points, we've also got to focus on making sure that we actually bring home some points as well here. As has Norris got damage? I think he might do. Lando Norris will try and take a look. I think he's missing both end plates on that McLaren car. So Norris has really been in the wars this afternoon. So we'll go around the outside at the top of the hill. A little bit of a pinch to the apex, but we're through. Oh, perhaps that's why Hulkenberg's doing so well here. He definitely has both of his end plates still attached to the car. But yeah, Norris is struggling. He's got a lot of damage here, so Stroll and myself have both really been able to run away. You just get, if you sit halfway behind another car there, the understeer is really, really noticeable. That corner has basically been my kryptonite all afternoon. Dive our way through the final couple of corners. Has Stroll even got all of his front wing? I swear he's missing an end plate as well there. I'll have a look. Yeah, he is. Lance Stroll as well has got front wing damage. So, seemingly, yeah, all these drivers in the wars right now. Norris desperately trying to defend against his former teammate Daniel Ricciardo. It's not for points anymore, as Hulkenberg's starting to struggle as well a little bit. To the outside of the Canadian. And the outside will go up the top of the hill.
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
And well, the alternate strategy often doesn't work that well inside F124. It has absolutely worked today. That was exactly what I was about to talk about. Mark can read my mind, because Hamilton now, I reckon he's got front wing damage, because he's dropping back lots of time from Oscar Piastri here. Do we sense blood in the water? Could we get the jump on the Merc before this race is done and dusted? Come on, 3 laps to go. We took another second out of him. This could be a last lap battle here in the Styrian Mountains with 7-time Formula 1 World Champion Lewis Hamilton. This has never been his favourite track in the world, though. I would love to get the better of him. Come on, 2 laps to go. The gap down to 1.4. We've got to be in the DRS this time next lap. Let's see, we gain a fair chunk of time through turn 1. Oh, you can see that how much earlier we're able to roll on the throttle, but we've got to really manage the battery here. Obviously, we know now the AI, they're strategic. They will save up a bit of charge for the final lap, so we can't have what we did at Jeddah, where we were able to get past Leclerc and Perez in the final lap of the Grand Prix, because the AI don't look after it. Come on, through the final couple of corners, we've got to get in that range, which I think we just about have. Hamilton, he's been in last lap battles here before, 2016. And 2020, most notably. As Max Verstappen, well, he never looked back after pretty much turn 1, did he? Already had a 1-second lead at the start of this Grand Prix, and then pretty much just held on to it ever since, but closing in on Hamilton as we make our way up the hill. We haven't got much in the way of charge left, but we have still got a tower advantage. Oh, Hamilton! A bit of a lock-up. Was that strategic? It can't have been. He won't get the DRS off me, off the corner. And I thought we might have to try and go for a move down at turn 4. But just as Max Verstappen will win the Austrian Grand Prix there, Lewis Hamilton locks up. And from 16th place on the grid, I think we ended up, didn't we? We have carved our way through today. We have used the alternate strategy to great effect. It's not one that often works too well inside F124, but it has paid dividends today as we make our way in towards the final couple of corners. We didn't think the points were possible all weekend long. The car has had no 1-lap pace, but in race trim, it has still been a force to be reckoned with. It is 4 points here in Austria. I am happy with that.
You've heard this one before. Max Verstappen takes the victory.
A great display of dominance today by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Max Verstappen then, he seems to just have the swing of things at the moment. It is going to be 33 out of a theoretical 34 points this weekend. I mean, yeah, he had a 1 second lead by turn 2 on lap 1 and never really looked back. It wasn't as dominant as his Grand Prix victory here last year, which was over half a minute, but 22 seconds clear of Sergio Perez. It has certainly been another weekend to remember for the Dutchman. Charles Leclerc, after sprint race glory on Saturday, couldn't quite do the same on Sunday afternoon, but another trophy back to Maranello. I don't think he can complain too much about there. Russell beats out Tsunoda, Alonso, Piastri, myself, Hamilton, and Lance Stroll there with Hulkenberg, an agonising P11. When, oh when, are we going to see that man score a point in a Grand Prix this season? Taking a look then at the driver's standings, 48 now, the gap for Max Verstappen at the top. It is not insurmountable, but he is certainly cementing that lead in the table there. Leclerc, again, he's just kind of branching it in P3. He's got the gap over everybody else, and as, you know, Piastri, Hamilton, Norris, Tsunoda, Russell, Alonso, and myself really fight each other for points, Leclerc is just often picking up the trophies, picking up the P3s, and he is making it worth his while at the moment there. Constructors-wise, Red Bull now with a 206-point lead over Ferrari. McLaren get ahead of Mercedes once again there as we continue to lose ground to Aston Martin. We need a big push back at the factory. We need to get our acclaim to 60% of the teams overall so we can actually finally start applying those last upgrades at the moment there. But once again, we push out the gap over Alpine. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for our home Grand Prix back at Silverstone.